Hi, welcome to the March and April wrap up. I decided to do it in 2 months because in March I actually only read two books. So that's not much of a wrap up. But in April, I actually read 16 books. So we got quite a few books to talk about. Let's start with Demon Copperhead. That's a book that I listened to on audio, and it's heavy. It's a very heavy read. It's kind of historical fiction, at least that's what it said on Goodreads. Reading books like this and then realizing it's based on a real story, that hurts so much. It's like, why is stuff like this happening? It's about this boy who is an orphan. He keeps getting sent to like different foster homes, but there's this one foster home where he's sent to, and it's this farm where a man is just putting the children to work and he only wants boys, and he's just like, go do this, go do that. And there's this one older teenage boy. He is so annoying. He is just such like a bad person. He's taking money and taking everything from all these boys, and for some reason the boys look up to him because he's like older and cool, but he doesn't take care of them. He's like such an annoying character. His name is Fast Forward, I think. The thing is, it is like 2 months ago since I read this book, so I don't remember everything exactly, but I do remember how I felt listening to this book. It was not good. I was like so emotional listening to this. It's just, it feels like a series of unfortunate events of just terrible stuff happening to him and him just not getting a break. There's some chapter where I think, oh, finally he's making friends, he's getting a better life, and then the next chapter is like, oh no, no, he's not. So you need to be ready for some emotional reading. I did give the book a 3.5 star, and I feel like it could be higher. It's a very well written book, but it's just not my type of book. It's so heavy, and I am reading for fun, not for realizing how terrible the world is. Like, we already know that. I don't need to read about this. But I think it was very well written, and to say I enjoyed it would just not make sense, but it was a good book. Next up, I read Jane Austen's Bookshelf. This was also a book for my book club, just like the last book. And I also listened to this as an audiobook. It's a nonfiction, a biography. I forgot her name, but she is a book collector. Yeah, she sells them, and she's like collecting the special first edition type of books. And while collecting these books, she has found her love for Jane Austen, but also discovering like who came before Jane Austen, considering female writers. Because people speak a lot about the male writers and how many great male writers there are, but there's not a lot of female like writers that are well known, at least not back in the day. So that's what she's kind of discovering, like who came before Jane Austen or who was writing in the same time period as her. And then she's realizing like so many books that were published with the author as anonymous, they're written by women. And it's always this comparison thing that it's, you have Jane Austen, and then if another woman tries to write something, it's like, oh, it's not as good as Jane Austen, so we're gonna ridicule her, and she's not gonna be a famous author because she's just a woman. And it's a lot of stuff like that happening. But just the fact that all these classics are male writers, and then if it's a female writer, it has to be anonymous because otherwise she's just out of society, and it's like a bad thing to be a writer for a female. That's so sad. I gave the book 3.25 stars. I thought it was pretty good. It's just a lot of research, I guess, because the book is about what she's finding out along the way, and maybe also some book recommendations actually you can get from there. It's spring, and it's hot. It's hot actually, so I'm just gonna switch out my clothes real quick because this is too hot. I'm back. Okay, what a switch, but this isn't tied to my body, so it's not as hot, so that's better. Next up, I read Just Friends by Haley Pham, and I actually made a whole reading vlog, so I'm not going to bore you with too many details. It's a romance and it's YA, there's no spice in it, so for the people that don't like spice, then this is a good option. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was pretty good, especially for a debut novel, and yeah, it's a cute romance. It's second chance, which is something I thought I really wasn't into, but I had never actually read anything that was second chance, and I really enjoyed it the way it was done. There was, however, a miscommunication trope, and I don't like that. It was okay, but there were just some things that annoyed me. And then I started listening to the unselected journals of Emma M. Lyon, which was actually also in a reading vlog, so won't spend too much time on it, but it's in the same time period as Bridgerton, and it's very fun. I think the first book was fine, but getting into the rest of the series, I have now listened to 3 of them, and I think the third one I enjoyed the most. It's just about Emma, who is living in this house, and she's very funny and witty and standing up for herself. Well, she could stand up for herself a bit more, but she's trying, and I think it's gonna be great, and I really want to continue the series. And I especially like the third one because in the beginning of the book it had kind of a mystery element to it, and I thought that was very fun. And I would definitely recommend them actually. It's especially also as an audiobook, it's very short and easy to get to. And yeah, maybe okay, if you really don't like the first one, then you can just stop. But if you think, oh, it's okay, then I would recommend listening to the second one because it does get better as you get to know the characters, and it gets a little bit more funny and there's a little bit of a romance involved. It's not anything crazy yet, but I don't know, I'm really, really enjoying the storyline. I gave the first one a 4.25. I gave the second one a 3.5. I don't know. I thought it was better. And I gave the third one a 3.75. Why did I give the first one a 4.25? But in my memory, I liked the third one better. My rating system, it doesn't make sense. The conclusion is I enjoyed the series and I would recommend them. And next up, I listened to Writers and Lovers. I listened to this specifically because I wanted to read Heart the Lover, and it's kind of interconnected. I also talked about this in another video, and Writers and Lovers, I did enjoy it. It's just not super memorable. It was a romance book. It was also about this woman, Cassie, and she wants to become an author, but right now she's a waitress and she's kind of deciding which guy to go for as well. And I think she made the right decision. At the end of the book, you know who she ends up with. And I'm like, yeah, yes, that was the right decision. But the thing is, I really enjoyed listening to the book. But every time I would put it down, if somebody were to ask me what the book was about, I'm like, well, I just wouldn't remember. I think that's quite silly. I mean, I don't have the best memory, but I read it, I listened to it an hour ago. How did I already forget, you know? I gave Writers and Lovers a 3.75. And then this is the first book I can actually show you, Heart the Lover. And as you can see, it's by Lily King. They also read this for my book club, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was better than the other one, but I do appreciate having read that one first. I mentioned before, but if you want to read it chronologically, then you read part 1 of this one, then Writers and Lovers, and then part 2 and 3 of this book. But I don't see a reason for you to want to read it chronologically. It doesn't add much or anything. I would just read Writers and Lovers first and then go to this one. But the thing is, in this book, Casey is not called Casey, but she's called Jordan. And I wasn't paying enough attention in the beginning to realize that. So I was like, how are these interconnected? I'm not getting it. It's the same female main character. She just has a nickname. So yeah, I was confused there for a sec. But I really enjoyed this book. A lot happens, and I think it's very interesting, and also the way she's dealing with what's happening to her. It's about romance, but I would say it's also about friendship and how important that can be, and I guess also about maybe misunderstanding, but I feel like it's not that much of miscommunication. It's, well, a little bit, but I don't know. It's very interesting. There's a bit of drama. It's very well written. And in the beginning, she has this boyfriend who I did not like at all. And his roommate, called Jash, I liked him in the beginning. No, I liked him, but I don't know. I think it's a very, very interesting book. You could read it without having read the other book. I'm actually wondering if the reason I enjoyed this one more than the other, like the first book, is because I actually read this book and I listened to the other book. Because sometimes while listening to an audiobook, I'm like walking outside and something happens and that catches my attention. I'm focused on other things, but when I'm actually reading, I'm really immersed in the book. So maybe that has something to do with the difference in rating. I don't know, actually. I did mention I gave that a 4.5 star, right? Then next up, I read The Problem of Pain, which is a book I have been trying to finish for over a year. I was at my parents' house, and then when I was there, I would read like half a chapter and put it down, and next time I was there, I wouldn't pick it up. So, it just, time went along and I didn't really read that much of it. But recently I decided, I was like, okay, it's been on my currently reading list for so long, I really need to get to it at some point. So I picked it up again and finished it, and I did actually like the last chapters better than the beginning. It's a really short book, but it's very dense and it's very, like, there's a lot of difficult words in there. Um, so you really need some brain power to actually understand what's being said. Oh, I'm just assuming you know what the book is about. Like, didn't tell you at all. It's a Christian book that's talking about the problem of pain, I guess. So it's a nonfiction. C.S. Lewis is just explaining thoughts on things. The thing is, I don't know exactly how I want to get into it, but when I did go to church, I had some questions that I always felt like people didn't really have an answer to, or it was always vague. And maybe that I'm not saying every church is like that, it's just that that's my experience. Reading this book, I got answers to the questions I have been asking for years. So that was good. And whether or not I like the answer or what I thought about that, that's a personal thing. But I think it's good that there were some clear answers that were also well thought out. I think I gave it 3.75 stars or 3.5 stars because I thought like it gave a clear answer. Next up, this book I'm so excited about. Garlic and the Vampire. It's adorable. I did a reading vlog where I was reading Katie Whitworth's favorite books. So I read this one and the Emma M. Lyon series. So I have already spoken about this one, but I want to speak about it again. It's so good. It needs to be talked about more. It's amazing. And it's a graphic novel, which I guess maybe you could say is a children's book. Not all graphic novels, but this one particularly, maybe, but not really. It's meant for everyone. It's so adorable, and I think it's also very relatable because this little like vampire, this little garlic bulb, is just very anxious and overthinking everything, and that's relatable and adorable. I have to show you. It's just so adorable. I'm absolutely in love with this one, and I really want to get Garlic and the Witch. I think that's the second one. I enjoyed this so much. I would recommend it to anyone. It's so cute. Yeah. You need to read this. It's just about all these little vegetables going on an adventure, finding a vampire. I'm not going to give away any more, but it's really, really adorable. And if you couldn't tell, 5 stars. Then I also read The Water Horse, which is a children's book, but I think it's a very good book. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed reading it. After my internship, when I don't have a lot of brain power left in me, it's nice to read something that's meant for children, because that's the amount of brain cells I have left. So this This I can handle after my internship. A book like Demon Copperhead, that's too much. But I would definitely recommend this to like read to your children, maybe like 5 to 7 years old or something. I don't know what kids these days, what age is appropriate. I don't know, but younger children, I think it they would enjoy it, and it's just a really cute story. It doesn't have pictures though, so at least this version doesn't. Oh yeah, that's something to be aware of because usually kids do like pictures, but this one doesn't really. It has a few. I think like every 2 chapters it has like one picture, but that's not a lot. So that's the only critique. Next up, you might have seen them. I don't know if you saw what they are, but I bought this whole series. It's Heartstopper, and it's actually 5 books, and I got them off of Vinted for €10. All 5 books, just €10. I was so happy. And I think this series has 7 books right now, maybe 8. I don't know if there's another one coming. I know for sure it's 6, but it could be 7 or 8. I don't know. These are the first 2 books, and I gave both of them 5 stars. I thought they were so cute. They are graphic novels, and they're about Nick and Charlie. This is Charlie, and Charlie came out last year, and he was bullied quite a bit, but now it's going a bit better, and he has his friends supporting him. And then this guy is Nick. He is on the rugby team with all his rugby friends. He's living a very different life, and they become friends, and maybe a bit more than friends. And I just think this series is so good. Also, maybe for teenagers in high school, because it's very much about accepting people as they are, and about that sometimes it does get rough because people do get bullied, and kind of how to deal with that, I guess. Just, to seek comfort in your friendships. I did give the third one, I gave 4.75 stars. And then the fourth one, I gave 4.5 stars. And the fifth one, 4.75. I think why it was slightly lower and not a 5 star was just because it started talking about mental health and eating disorders and stuff like that, which that is very good that that is mentioned. It's just that the first 2 books were a bit more cutesy or something. I don't know. I was reading it and I was giggling and I was happy. And then the other books I was reading and I'm like, oh no. So I did feel a lot of emotions and it was very good, and it's actually just worth a 5 star. It's just that I was expecting to be giggling and I wasn't always happy, which is very realistic in life. It's just that that's what I was kind of expecting, maybe a little bit. So I was going to show you what it looks like, but I picked up the third book, so I'm just gonna pick up the first one so that it's not too much of a spoiler or anything. So here you can see Charlie is also gonna try to play some rugby because Nick asked him to. So I don't know, this is just the style of graphic novel that it is, and I think it's very cute. It's just so good that there's so much representation for different sexualities, but also for disorders and just a lot of representation, and I think that's very good. Would recommend it to anyone. It's very cute, but also very real. So I think it's a great series. Then there is one other book that I read this month, and it's called A Streetcar Named Desire. I'm not going to talk too much about that or at all because my next video, I don't know if this is before or after, but I have like a whole reading vlog of this one book. So I'm not even going to tell you the star rating. You will have already seen, or you will see next week. I'm not sure yet. But in March, I only read 2 books, so you could probably tell I didn't really get to any TBR. And in April, I had a TBR of 4 books. I really thought I was going to get to it because I had already finished, or did I have a TBR of 5 books? I thought I was getting to it. I had already read quite a few, and I'm like, oh, I still have 3 weeks left, so I can read something else now. And then it was like, oh, I have 2 weeks left. Okay, that's still doable. Then it was like, okay, I have a week left, and I still have to read 2 books from my TBR. So I got a bit cocky, and I thought I could read like a book in a day. But it's like with Heartstopper, it's a graphic novel, and yeah, you could read one in a day. But with a different book that's not a like pictures, yeah, one week for two books, I wasn't even able to finish one of them. So I am currently reading The Vegetarian. I'm about halfway, and I haven't started reading Mate, but I do really want to get to it. So this is just gonna keep happening that I'm not gonna finish the TBR. But I also feel like just picking a TBR is fun, but sticking to it, I don't know. I want to read what I want to read. But I do want to read it. I just got distracted. When I have like time off from school, that's when I'm going to be able to actually stick to my TBR. But these last 2 months, I have read 18 books, a lot of audiobooks and graphic novels, but that still counts. And I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. It was a bit quick. I realized I have or at least I don't know if it was short, but I tried to be a bit quicker about the books because I realized like 18 books, that's 1 minute a book, and otherwise it's going to be too long of a video. So, and I can see I've been filming for 40 minutes, so I hope I can make it 20 minutes or less. And if you made it to the end, thank you very much. And you can, ooh, what can I do? And oh, do they have like a little garlic bulb in the smileys? Because then you can leave that so that I can see that you stuck it out to the end. Or like a vampire, because this is the favorite of all the books, of all the books that I've just mentioned, of all the 18 books, this, my favorite. So if you want to leave anything in the comments but you don't know what to say, then you can leave like a little vampire or a little garlic in the comments, and then I can see that you made it to the end. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!